Handling stress during difficult times. We all hit bumps in the road. Everybody has difficult times. Right now, politically, the world is kind of on its ear and we're seeing all sorts of things happening, and that causes an underlying level of stress. So how can you de-stress or handle new stresses when you're going through a difficult time, either personally or in your community or in the greater universe overall? I have 4 life hacks for you today that can help you handle stress during even the most difficult of times. And these have worked for me. They work for everyone that I recommend them to, and I know that they will work for you as well. So before we get there, I'd love for you to check and see if you're a subscriber here. And if not, please become one. We're dropping videos like this all the time to help you live a lower stress life with more happiness. What's there not to love? So click that subscribe button and the little bell, and that way you'll get notifications when we do drop videos like this to help you live a happier life. Okay, I'll be right back with those 4 life hacks for you to be able to handle stress during even the most difficult of times.
GILD Coaching. More success, less stress.
When I first entered the professional arena of my professional life after college as a post-grad, I was a journalist. I loved it. It was also a very stressful job. The best journalists know that you are driven out of a desire for the truth, a quest for the truth, and also on a constant quest for adrenaline, because it's a very, very much an adrenaline boost when you're hunting something and reporting on it and revealing things. And so it was a very high stress job. I loved it, but you can only keep going with that high stress for so long. Okay. When I got out of news, I went on a news diet, because watching it, not producing it, but watching it as a consumer on the side of the TV screen that everybody else had been on all those years, was almost as equally stressful as creating it to begin with. So I went on a news diet. My first life hack is to stop watching mainstream media news. It's not necessarily all of the stuff that you need to hear. More and more, it's becoming purely editorial content. So the only content that you're seeing is based on the views, belief, and bias, and everyone has bias. I had bias as a journalist. Everyone has bias because we all have a past. But you're only being fed the views according to the bias of the person that's giving it to you. And so just don't watch it. If you want to take in information, seek out some independent news sources that give non-sensationalized reports of the topics that you're interested in, whether it's politics or world news, humanitarian effort type things, whatever. But it's the sensationalization of news that causes us to become so wrapped up, the images. So think about it like this. You're not going to sit down at a dinner table with someone who you don't really know. Allow yourself to be blindfolded and then just eat whatever's put in front of you. So why would you do that with your mind? Because that's what we're doing when we turn on the TV, when we turn on news radio, when we turn on mainstream media. We're sitting down, we're putting on a blindfold, we're saying, feed me whatever you want, I'm eating. So don't do that. Don't watch the news. If you take a news diet, you might actually feel yourself have a little bit of withdrawals at first. I know that I did. I actually went to only entertainment news for just a little while, literally to wean myself off. But when you break up with mainstream media news, the stress level in your life will go down. Again, I'm not saying be uninformed. I'm saying be an intentional news digester and go out there. There's several different newspapers that I subscribe to that are independent. They're outside of the mainstream media bubble. And they just kind of tell you what happened. And there's not a lot of adjectives. There's not a lot of sensationalization or any sensationalization. And so you're really just getting reporting of facts. which I haven't seen done in mainstream media. It's actually one of the reasons I left it. I haven't seen done in mainstream media in over 20 years. All right, so hack number 1, break up with mainstream media news. Hack number 2, get moving. If you are not an exercise nut like I am, and I mean, I say that I'm an exercise nut, I have not made time to really get a good sweat on in 2 days. So that's, most exercise nuts would say, if you're an exercise nut, you work out every day. Okay, well, I haven't worked out today. I did something else with that time. I invested that time in something else that needed to get done. I'm super glad that I did that. And then it was time to sit down and record this for you. And so that is what my life looks like today. But move. The thing that I replaced my exercise window with had to do with lifting and moving and packing, and like I was moving. It was still a form of exercise, not just pure exercise, but I was actually doing a task. It was some volunteer work. And so I got moving. Get moving. Yard work, cleaning your house, going for a walk, going for a run, doing an aerobics class, going for a swim, whatever. Just get moving and exercise. Studies have shown people who are physically active more easily handle stress when stress comes to them. Your central nervous system is more prepared to deal with it. Your cardiovascular system is more prepared to deal with it. And your immune system is more prepared to deal with it. So get up and move. Don't be a couch potato. Yuck. Don't do that. And I have my couch potato moments. I'm not always moving and grooving, but I am more than I'm not. And so should you be, if you want to be able to handle your stress better. Okay, number 4, wait, no, it's not. It's number 3. Number 3, the third hack is say no. I want you to practice saying no. I want you to practice saying no to things that you maybe could say yes to, just to practice saying no. I'm not sure if you enjoy animated movies, but I do. And I've watched probably, I would say 99% of movies that Disney has churned out since the 80s. Animated movies, at least. And there's one scene in the movie Aladdin where Aladdin has freed the genie. It's really toward the end. And then the genie's like, oh, I'm free, And really, we've done this to ourselves. We've caused ourselves to feel like we have to say yes to everybody, just like the genie was imprisoned to his lamp, having to say yes to everybody and doing the magic for everybody. We've done the same thing to us. So in this analogy, you're the genie who has been freed. So Aladdin frees the genie. He uses his last wish to free the genie. And then the free genie says, ask me for anything. Ask me for anything. And Aladdin goes, I don't remember what Aladdin says, but he's like, give me something. And the genie goes, no. It felt so good. And the genie wanted somebody to ask him for something just because he needed to feel the power of saying no. No is a very simple word. It's not mean. It's not ugly. It's 2 little bitty letters, and together they make a very powerful word that is, in and of itself, a complete sentence. So that's why your third hack, to be able to deal with stress during hard times, is to say no. You need rest. When you are under a bunch of stress, you need rest more than other times. So give yourself that. Give yourself that freedom by saying no. Now we're at number 4. That sneaky little number 3 I tried to label as number 4. Number 4 is you need a third party to talk to. Might not be me. It might not be one of the other coaches or therapists at GILD Coaching. But you need a third party that's not your buddy, that's not your mom, that's not your neighbor, that's not your friend, that's not your sister, that you pay in some way to talk with you, be your sounding board, and give you solicited third party perspective. Now, the reason that I said pay in some way, there are a couple of other, I'm a therapist and a coach. And don't ever go to a therapist or a coach who doesn't have a therapist or a coach. So I have a counselor, a therapist, 2 coaches, and a mentor. Okay. So I pay plenty of people to be on Team Jane to make sure that I am made aware of what I'm not seeing, that I see if I'm slipping into patterns that don't serve me and my greater purpose, to talk through options with me, and really just to help me make sense of things from a different perspective. They are 5 people who I trust so dearly that they know the most intimate details of my life. And it's confidential. So it's not like, somebody's going to tell my great aunt Sally, who's then going to tell my mom, who's then going to tell her sister, and like the whole family knows. No, it's all confidential. You need an official relationship with someone who can talk with you and be that sounding board, give you that third party perspective, and help you see what you're not seeing. That's my biggest job, is to help you see what you're not seeing. If you don't have someone and you'd like to talk with us, we have coaches all over the United States and in Europe, and one of us can help you, I promise. So look in our video description for the link to schedule a session with me. You and I will get on there. We'll talk about what you're needing, and you'll either say, hey, Dr. Jane, I want to do this with you, or I'll suggest one of our other coaches for you, and then you guys can have a meet and greet and see. And we do all of this over Zoom, so it's on your schedule wherever you are. It works for you. There's no travel or anything, unless that's just what you decide that you need, and then we travel to each other. So just make sure that you have that professional presence in your life, because you deserve that third party perspective. You and your beautiful self deserves to have lower stress. You deserve to have someone help you get through these hard times. If this video has been of help to you, please give me a thumbs up. And if you didn't already and you're not a subscriber, please click the subscribe button and the little bell so that you'll learn the next time we drop a video like this to help you live a happier and lower stress life. I'll see you next time.